Welcome back to Ask Howard. Today's question, why you, Howard Kaye?
Well, I guess the answer would be we wrote the book on life insurance, wealth creation and preservation. 8 books, actually. This is all we do, and we've been doing it since 1963. We took the same old life insurance everyone was selling and reinvented it into financial strategies and products no one had ever considered. There are a lot of copycats out there, but we created it, and the joy I get out of this is teaching people like you all the ways life insurance can make your life better. Whether it's helping to offset estate taxes, creating guaranteed retirement income for life, unburdening your children and giving them freedom to thrive, or funding things you love like charity or the arts.
We are the Howard Kaye Life Insurance Agency, your friends for life. Life insurance. Call 1-866-ASK-HOW-KAY or go to AskHowardKay.com and tune in to Howard's show, Ask Howard, 7:30 Saturday mornings right here on Legends Radio.
Well, happy Saturday morning. This is Tony Scuderi. Welcome to the Ask Howard show. Today we have a special show. We're featuring Sammy Kaye, the grandson of Barry Kaye, the founder of our firm, and the son of our current president and chief strategist, Howard Kaye. But before we get into that, I hope you're all enjoying your Saturday morning. For those of you not familiar with our firm, we are the Howard Kaye Insurance Agency, LLC, here in Boca Raton. We do cover clients nationally from coast to coast. We have an office in Beverly Hills, California, as well as here in Boca Raton. And we specialize in creating and preserving wealth, extending and expanding legacies, generational planning to pass down wealth, and of course, strong financial legacies and futures. And we use life insurance and annuity strategies to help you accomplish all of those goals in an innovative way, using some out-of-the-box strategies and creative approaches that you can learn more about by visiting one of our websites, AskHowardKaye.com, that's Kaye.com, or Howard Kaye Insurance Agency, LLC. If you go on the website, you can find us, look us up on Google. And if you need to have questions answered, if you have a situation that needs our personal attention, you just want to learn more about perhaps having your life insurance reviewed or your current life insurance portfolio, some of the things we'll talk about during the show, give us a call at 866-275-4695. That's 866-ASK-HOW and the letter K. Again, 866-275-4695. You know, there are lots of folks, we've talked about this in prior shows, who are licensed as insurance agents. Having been a vice president at 2 major insurance companies with thousands of agents reporting to me, I can tell you, while their hearts were always in the right place, the level of knowledge, you know, when you're dealing with these large companies, and the level of experience from agent to agent varies widely. You know, the success rate in the life insurance business is very low. 4-year retention average is about 11%, which means for every 100 agents hired today, at the end of 4 years, 89 of them have left the building, so to speak. And that leaves an awful lot of clients orphaned, without direction, without information, without a relationship. One of the advantages of dealing with us at the Howard Kaye Insurance Agency is our stability. We've been in business since 1962, 1963, and our folks here at the agency are all long-term players. We've all been here many, many years. We're not going anywhere. Our focus is on our clients, our client relationships, the knowledge level, the detail that we pay, the attention to detail that we pay to your existing contracts, if we're just doing a review, to what your future needs are, is really, I think, beyond reproach. And what you would find if you take advantage of the opportunity we offer for a complimentary insurance review, and you call us at 866-ASK-HOW-KAY, again, 866-275-4695, I think you'll learn firsthand the level of attention and really focus that you'll receive from us as we help you to not only understand what you own, but tailor what you own to best suit what it is you're trying to accomplish. So without much further ado, what I'd like to do is get into our main focus today, and that's an open discussion with Sammy Kaye. As I mentioned, he is the grandson of the company founder, Barry Kaye. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But good morning, Sammy. How are you?
Good morning, Tony, and good morning to all the listeners out there. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Sammy's been with us now a few years. Went out to Boulder, Colorado to get educated, got his degree, attended school locally here at St. Andrew's School in Boca Raton. Got his degree that really, I think, has helped him as far as communication. He's a really good communicator. He has a way of bonding with people and connecting with folks. It's just sort of natural for Sammy. I think it's a major asset for him going forward. But, he comes from a unique heritage. I have to say, my dad was in the life insurance business, first with New York Life and then Prudential, and, for many years in the business, and my dad was successful. But, Sammy's grandfather was really the top performing life insurance agent in the country, extremely well-renowned and well-respected, and considered the founder of the wealth creation industry. He published 8 hardcover books. He opened up wealth creation centers all over the country, teaching CPAs, attorneys, and life insurance agents the advanced concepts and strategies involving legacy planning and estate planning. And many of these concepts are now commonplace approaches throughout the industry that are used by agents all over the country. The advantage that we have is that we're more familiar with these concepts than anyone. They were born out of this organization. And Sammy, having grown up as the son of Howard Kaye, who grew up with life insurance, from the time he was 3 or 4 years old, it's really ingrained within him. And he's had an opportunity firsthand to see the impact that this has had on clients, the kind of relationships that Howard and Barry had with their clients. So he stepped into a culture that really gives him an advantage, not only in terms of learning the business, but seeing the direct impact of what we do has on people, on their children, on their grandchildren, and on future generations. So it's really exciting. I'd like to throw a couple of questions Sammy's way. The first one would be, Sammy, how does it feel to be third generation in our business?
I actually love it. I'll tell you firsthand, just growing up, I always wanted to be with my father. That was just something that I enjoyed. I loved everything about him. I still do love everything about him. But watching the relationship that my father and my grandfather had, not only personally but through business, is something that I guess I envied when I was younger, and now I have the opportunity to endure that relationship with my father as he did with his. So I really do love being here, and I love what I do for my clients, and I have the best mentor in the world, my father, Howard Kaye.
That's awesome, Sammy. And speaking of clients, traditionally our firm has been focused on the estate planning market with folks, from 55 to about 85. That's been our target market. People who are at the point of life where they get serious about not giving all of their assets to Uncle Sam and passing along the most possible to their family on a tax-free basis. So we've used, an awful lot of legacy and estate planning strategies. But over the years, we've morphed a bit because there's tremendous interest in things like annuities and long-term care. And, focus-wise, we had to sort of, widen the envelope, so to speak, in order to accommodate our clients and those that they refer to us. Tell me a little bit about the markets you serve and how that fits in with the firm and what we do overall.
Yeah, I really enjoy bringing in this younger demographic to our firm because there's an untapped need, not necessarily need, but more of a want for young families, young business owners. Let's start off with young families. I can't tell you the number of young adults, 35, 40-year-olds that have spouses and children that don't quite understand the importance of protection. You have people that depend on you. You should have something protecting your family. You're not promised tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we don't think we're going to pass the next day, but it's a peace of mind thing. For example, young people that don't even have families. I have a family. I don't have a spouse and children, but my business, the business depends on me. A part of the business depends on me. So I have term insurance myself. I see the need for protection. I provide a value for the firm, and if something were to happen to me, I would only want the firm to benefit and keep that value. So with term insurance, that's able to happen. Along with term insurance, long-term care. I really enjoy long-term care and what it does for my clients. Back in the day, they didn't have these hybrid policies. You just had long-term care, and it was very expensive. People didn't like that. So now with these hybrid policies, you can have a life insurance policy with a long-term care rider attached, and it allows you to have a death benefit, but it allows you to tap into a long-term care benefit if something happens to you where you're not able to perform the 2 out of 6 daily activities of living.
Just tapping into that for a minute, you struck a nerve, Sammy. The problem for those of you who may have already experienced this, the old traditional long-term care policies, you paid a certain premium for a daily benefit. So you might have paid $5 or $6 or $7 or $8,000 a year to have a $300 a day daily benefit that might last, 3 or 5 years, whatever the policy provisions had stated. But there were problems with that scenario in that 2 things. One, you may not ever need long-term care, in which case you paid an awful lot of premiums for a lot of years and didn't need it and didn't get any value from it. You may have died before you ever needed to go into a nursing facility or needed home health care. So you were in a position to lose all of the money you paid for those policies. And increases in premium happen almost every year, 10, 20, 30% a year. And you really had no choice but to pay the increase because you're not going to drop a policy after having paid for it for 20 years. So clients would sort of, go down with the ship, so to speak. And we had a use it or lose it dilemma that traditional long-term care presented. And if I'm hearing you right, Sammy, based on these new hybrid products, they call them hybrid because the long-term care benefits are attached to either an annuity or a life insurance policy, and you only use it if you need it, and if you don't need it, well, then you still have your annuity, and if you don't need it, you still have your life insurance. So these programs actually provide an advance of long-term care benefits tax-free by virtue of you having that base product, and it's a much more effective and efficient way to purchase long-term care. Would you say that's a fair categorization?
100%, and it completely removes the use it or lose it scenario, like you said. So that's a huge added benefit onto these hybrid policies.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned business insurance. I know you've done quite a bit with buy-sell agreements.
Yes, sir.
And things like executive compensation, where individuals are looking to protect their business, much the way your dad has done that with myself and other key teammates here, where we are an asset to the firm, but if we were not to be here, he would suffer a loss. So he's actually placed life insurance on the key members of the organization, and that way it would compensate him on a tax-free basis for any employee that should prematurely die. But partners do that as well with each other. And what's the primary reason 2 partners might consider a buy-sell agreement? Yeah,
so a buy-sell agreement is really just a fancy word for term insurance on each partner. And basically, you have a 50-50 partnership. If something were to happen, if one of the partners were to die prematurely, well, then that partner goes into business with the deceased partner's dependents. And, in some cases that might work, but majority of cases that probably won't work. So what this life insurance policy on each partner does is that insurance, that death benefit, buys out the family members and in effect allows you, the partner that's still living, to take 100% ownership of the business. It is a different approach once again, but there's insurable interest there. Even though they're not family members, this is a business interest, and you want to make sure that your business is protected just like your life is protected.
Yeah, you mentioned a key point there. Sometimes the surviving family members can be hostile to the remaining business owner, and they get into a gridlock situation where there's a difference of opinion as to how to run the business, and it ultimately destroys the business. So allowing one of the surviving partners, or 2 if there were 3 partners, or 4 or 5, this could accommodate any number of business partners to allow the surviving partners to run the business and yet still compensate the family of the deceased so that their share of the business is provided for in the form of a life insurance benefit is really an ideal solution. And as well, for the key employees that want to, structure certain types of compensation-related bonus plans using the tax advantages of life insurance, these Section 162 bonuses and double bonuses, they can be very attractive and produce a lot of wealth for our business owners. So if you're a business owner out there, you have questions about this, give Sammy Kaye a call at 866-275-4695. That's at the Howard Kaye Insurance Agency. You can visit our jump page or landing page at AskHowardKaye, that's KAYE.com to learn more. We'd be happy to answer your questions. We're going to take a brief 30-second break for a commercial. We'll be back on the other side. We've got more to talk to Sammy about and more information to share with you. So hang on just a moment, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Ask Howard. Today's question: Howard, I have too much cash sitting around earning nothing, but the market scares me. Is there a safe return anywhere?
Absolutely. A product that protects your principal 100% and can earn way more than the measly returns money markets and CDs are paying. It's an indexed universal life insurance policy, and in its worst year, it's guaranteed to return 2.5% less expenses with a gross return of up to 8% or higher, depending upon the index, of course. Best of all, you can take your money out anytime with zero penalty. You can put in $100,000 all the way up to $10 million, and as a bonus, you get a tax-free death benefit. Finally, the best of all worlds: safety, liquidity, and market upside.
We are the Howard Kaye Life Insurance Agency, your friends for life. Life insurance. Call 1-866-ASK-HOW-KAY or go to AskHowardKaye.com and tune in to Howard's show, Ask Howard, 7:30 Saturday mornings right here on Legends Radio.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Tony Scuderi here with Sammy Kaye from the Howard Kaye Insurance Agency. We're talking about Sammy's role here at the agency, being a third-generation part of the business. And, of course, he's learning a lot, has learned a lot the last few years. He certainly has proven to be of value to his clients. He's on the fast track here at the agency, and we want to make sure you know about him, who he is, what he does, and what motivates him. One of the things we talked about is, how it feels to be part of the firm from a third-generation standpoint, and some of the things he's learned from his father and his grandfather, who've developed and ran the business over the years. I guess the next question might be, Sammy, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Tony, that's a fantastic question. I definitely see myself being just as good as I am now, but much better. I I have goals monetarily. I have goals mentally. I really want to emulate what I had when I grew up. I'd love a wonderful family. I'd love to continue my success in this business and to continue being a part of what my grandfather and father created, and what I can turn it into. I hope I can be much bigger than the both of them, but those are two major shoes to fill, and I couldn't be more excited to do it.
Sammy, you mentioned, some of your aspirations, and that includes, family and having, worked with your dad for many years and knowing your grandfather as well as I did. I know there are certain key things that they held very dear, and family was certainly, one of them. But, part of family life and successful family life is being able to provide. And one of the things that's interesting, because of the incredible success that your grandfather and father have had in the industry, an industry that does reward financially top producers very well, they were very successful and became very wealthy and philanthropic themselves, both of them. Being very generous with their assets and donating to colleges and hospitals, all over the world, and being in a position to create a lifestyle that you got to enjoy your entire life. So I know that's on your mind, that you would like to create that kind of lifestyle for your family ultimately. But what's interesting about that is because of the wealth that they created, they actually put to use the 12 core concepts that you'll find on our website at howardkinsurance.com personally. So every recommendation that comes out of this firm is the direct byproduct of personal family experience that the Kays have put to use. The way they've structured trusts, some of their innovative insurance solutions, the survivorship policies, our life expectancy coverages, certain types of structures we use in life insurance policies. When we make recommendations to clients, it's not out of a textbook. It's personal experience that's the byproduct of what has actually happened with this family. Sammy, you have anything you'd like to add about that?
Yeah. So I love explaining to my clients that, or even anyone that I speak to, we think out of the box. We have these innovative approaches that started way before me. But the beautiful thing about these approaches is that they worked on my family. So I am speaking from experience. I don't just talk to prospects or clients just to talk. I love talking and I love talking to people, but these are approaches that, once again, my family has brought to life with our family. So I only speak from experience, and I only want to help out my clients in the most beneficial way possible using the things that we've created.
It's excellent. And that's a real advantage, I think, for clients, because everything we do is based in reality, and I think that has value, rather than again somebody who's just showcasing some idea that they learned from a sales manager somewhere. This is real world stuff, and it has real world importance, and we treat every client in that way. Having been with us now a couple of years, I would ask two questions. I'd be curious for your feedback, and having over the years, trained a lot of folks, I might have some idea of what you might answer. But what has been most challenging that you have found in terms of dealing with clients and our business? And you could be brutally honest about that. Clients might appreciate
Sure.
that. And what's been most rewarding? Those two questions.
Yeah, I'd say probably the biggest obstacle of this business is the rebuttal to, even, hey, Sammy, what do you do? What's your business? And I say, I'm in the life insurance business. Automatically, people are turned off. I'm all good with my policies, Sammy. I don't need you to. All I say is I'm in the life insurance business, and they shut down. Oh, we're good. We don't need it. What I find interesting is the lack of knowledge that people have on the topic of life insurance, what the beautiful tax-free asset of life insurance can do. So when someone says to me, oh, life insurance is a scam, oh, it's an expense, it's too expensive, it is simply a diversification of your portfolio. It is simply protection. It is simply you creating dollars at a discounted amount. And once I have the wherewithal to educate someone and they understand it, it is a completely different reaction. So I would say the toughest part about this business is the automatic no, or the automatic don't talk to me, you're in life insurance. Once again, if you can properly educate and just explain to someone what we do and how we do it, I think you'll have a much different response.
Yeah, having been in this business 40 years, that reflexive not interested is the biggest impediment to people helping themselves. And our job, and you do it very well, is to help them get past that so that they understand what they don't understand. And it's what they don't understand that's stopping them from going forward. So if we can expose them to that, they'll be more open. And you've been able to do that.
And, Tony, something as simple as a policy review. Just thrown out. That's the most basic. If someone has life insurance, I'll always ask, let me take a look at what you have. People have bought these policies 30, 40 years back, just like a car, just like a TV. 30 or 40 years back, those things might have been great 30 or 40 years ago, but so much has changed in this time. So if I sit down with someone and they have a great policy that they bought 30 or 40 years ago, I'm more than happy letting them know that what you have is great. I don't want to touch anything. I'm more than happy to set it straight. But if you have something that needs an evaluation, or you need something that you need some change in your life insurance policies, well, I'm always happy to educate people on that because they have a completely different understanding of really what they own.
Excellent. And as far as the rewarding part of the last couple of years, what's been the most rewarding?
Yeah, for me, talking to someone and educating them is rewarding. But when I actually insure someone, or when that policy is put in force, and I see the peace of mind that these fathers or these mothers have with their young families, it is so gratifying just knowing that, wow, I was able to provide my service and this kind of value to someone who had no idea that that life insurance could do that. So that is a very rewarding aspect of the business, and really just, once again, educating someone and impacting someone. That's the most rewarding, is the impact that I have on my clients. I don't even need to sell them a policy. It's just educating and helping them understand what they don't know.
Yeah, that's excellent, Sammy. And the truth is, if you don't hold their hand and walk side by side with them, there's no guarantee that anybody else is going to do that during a critical period. I could recall many years ago we had a particular agent who had some appointments cancel, and his late appointment was at that time scheduled for 9 p.m., and he didn't want to drive all the way to Queens, New York from Long Island at the time to go on that appointment. He just didn't want to, quote unquote, waste his evening waiting around for that last appointment, and he wasn't going to go. And I remember I talked with him and I said, we're not going to let that happen. I said, if you don't want to go, give it to George. George has no appointments left for the evening. He'll go on the appointment. And he agreed to split the commission, so to speak, if there was any, and let George go. And George did go, and he insured that family and that young man. And as it turns out, 2 weeks later, the gentleman was actually struck by lightning working at a power plant in Long Island, and died. And he had a young baby on the way that hadn't even been born yet. And the question we asked during the Friday meeting was, what would have happened if the original agent went home that night? That family would not have been protected.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. So somebody's got to stand up for these people, walk with them, educate them, share ideas with them, and then put them in a position to have protection.
Tony, one other thing I wanted to say was one thing I've learned from my father is, you're putting the real goals and real ideas that your clients have first. You can't look at commission. You can't look at the money you make. Obviously, you want to make $1. Obviously, you need to feed yourself. You need to live. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that what you're doing is right for your client. And if you're doing good by someone, the money will come. The success will come. But you have to be honest. You have to be truthful. And you have to put your clients first.
Perfect, Sammy. Well, Sammy, you're in a short time, you've become a real asset to the firm. We're proud to have you obviously, wear the name of the firm on your shirt sleeve and represent us as well as you do. You have an incredible pedigree. You've educated yourself very quickly. You do a great job for your clients. We're thrilled to have you aboard, and I'm glad to call you a friend. So thanks for spending time with us. Hopefully clients get to call you again. Please do. You can call us at Ask How K. That's 866 Ask How K. The number again, if you want to do it numerically, is 866-275-4695. Any last words, Sammy?
No, I just want to say thank you to all the listeners at Legends Radio, and thank you, Tony, for not only mentoring me as well, but also being a good friend. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the listeners.
Awesome. Okay, folks, till next week. Thanks again. We'll talk to you on Ask Howard next Saturday morning here on Legends Radio. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome back to Ask Howard. Today's question for Howard Kaye. I'm 75, happy and healthy. Should I surrender my life insurance policy now?
Not until you first talk to me, because if you're age 70 or above, we may be able to sell it for more than its surrender value, up to 4 times more. That's right, 4 times. It's called the life settlement market. Giant hedge funds want to buy your policies because you're getting older. It could be a good investment for them. And if you're looking to exit your policy, good for you too. Maybe your kids are now self-sufficient. Maybe offsetting estate taxes is no longer an issue. Maybe your premiums are just too much. Don't surrender it. Let us find out its cash value on the settlement market.
We're the Howard Kaye Life Insurance Agency, your friends for life. Life insurance. To learn more, call us at 1-866-ASK-HOW-K. That's 1-866-ASK-HOW and the letter K. Or go to AskHowardK.com.